everyone. Hi, Classy Cat. How are you? Uh-oh. Let me see if the music's working. It was working before I started stream. Yes, it is. Okay, sweet. How is everyone doing today? I am... Well, one, I've got a serious case of the Mondays. I don't know about anyone else. A little bit tired. But I have spent the last hour changing the alert sounds and GIFs for the stream. So now we've got custom ones, and they're really cute and hilarious, and hopefully everyone likes them as much as I liked making them terribly. So we'll see. But Lovebone, why is the chicken saying book, book, book? I don't understand. I am so excited to have Math Monday back. I know it's been a bit of a break, so we'll do a little bit of a review, and then we'll figure things out. And hi, Jeff Seagroves. Thank you for the cheer. How are you? Loving the cheers for Math Monday. Hi, Strix. I'm just getting a few things. Oh, because it sounds like a chicken. Okay. I wasn't sure if there was like part of the pun I was missing. If there was something, I don't know, that I haven't learned yet. No, you're fine. It was a funny joke. Multilingual jokes are always hard, so don't worry. And I'm doing well, Jeff. I'm doing well. It's been a couple weeks, unfortunately, since Math Monday. It was my birthday, and then I had a fire station meeting, so I'm a little behind on the VODs too, and for that I apologize to our YouTube friends. There's so much like metadata and descriptions and links and stuff that I've been putting it off because I've just been busy. But I will get that very, very soon, and hopefully folks can catch up. But usually for the first half of stream, I like to give everybody a chance to come in, get comfortable, ask any leftover questions. We just chat, kind of get our heads in math mode, transition from work or school or dinner, whatever else you were doing. And then around 7:30 usually is when we get started with content. But in the meantime, we can all just hang out. Hi, Cassie. How are you? Oh, my goodness. So, for my birthday, I got a Stream Deck. I haven't set it up yet, but it looks cool, and it's shiny, and it's got all these buttons, and I'm really excited. Hi, Remarch. How are you? Buttons, I know, there's, let me see, there's 15 buttons. I'm super excited. I got the software, and I, signed into all of my various accounts, but other than that, I haven't really set up the buttons. But I think it's gonna come in handy, because I'm always having to, switch out of things or change screens, and there's always a million things I've got to keep track of, so it'd be great to press a button and have it tweet or switch whatchamacallit, scenes in Streamlabs. So exciting. And hi, Smallsy. How are you? You are up there. Well, I guess for you this probably isn't. No, this isn't late. I keep thinking, no, you're behind. So this is actually afternoon. I'm gonna get this whole time zone thing done. Oh, that would be such a cool project, Cassie. That's a lot of integrations, actually. It's the integrations that I want to learn more about, because I have no idea how I would go about that from a programming perspective. Well, I mean, I do have a little bit of an idea for some things, but having an integration with Streamlabs, I don't know how I would do that. 9 a.m. Okay, well, you know what? Fine. I know nothing. It's okay. Good morning, though. I hope wait, so it's Tuesday? Or is it Monday for you? And Bucephalus, another Aussie friend. Hello. But yeah, it's 9 a.m., but which day? Because I feel like you're ahead by a day, right? Yeah, okay, Tuesday. So you actually are ahead. I just it wasn't ahead enough in my mind. Okay. I will get this. I promise you. And then we're going to hit like daylight savings times and I'm going to be confused again. But nevertheless, I hope everybody's excited for Math Monday. I'm extremely excited. Just getting a few things ready, like problems and stuff like that. I figured having a little bit of review is probably a good idea because it's been 2 weeks and I don't know anyone else who maybe was like, oh, no Math Monday, I'll just do math for fun. Like, probably not a lot of people. So I would, I'll do a bit of review, but yes, let's get some math. So just to repeat for those of you who've just jumped in, usually what I do is I leave the first little bit of stream, like the first anywhere between 15 minutes and half an hour, depending on questions and stuff, for like people to come in, ask questions, ask off-topic questions if they want, and it just gives everybody like enough time to kind of come in, because one thing I noticed was when I would jump into content right away, around the 30-minute mark, I'd have a lot more people, and people would be like, wait, what does that mean? Wait, can you go back? So I figured instead I would just have this a little bit of a lengthier intro, relaxation, catching up session, and then we can dive into the content once, like, usually around 30 minutes is when we've got a chunk o' people. Hi, Raw Yolks, how are you? But yes, we are going to be doing some algebra today. We'll do a bit of review for single variable equations because that's going to lay some of the groundwork for the new topic for today, which is systems of linear equations, which sounds really fancy, but I promise it's really not. So, did anyone have any fun Monday plans? I feel like I got a lot done, but it's tough. Like, I got a lot of meetings done, a lot of emails, a lot of admin stuff, like some budget stuff, emails sent. And while like that crosses off a lot of stuff on my to-do list, I just don't feel as productive as when I'm like, oh, I wrote a bunch of code. I mean, I wrote some code today, but like the days where I code all day, I feel so much more productive. Even if it's like less items I'm checking off, I just feel like I got more done. Hi, War Control. Yes, that is a correct reaction for algebra. And hi, Amade. Your plans are staying in bed. I'm jealous. My alarm rang this morning and I was like, why? Why are mornings existing? I don't like mornings. You're writing real cool code. What's your real cool code? I want to know. Oh, and that sounds really cool, Cassie. Did you like... I mean, hopefully, is it redone for fun reasons or redone because of disaster? I feel like that's a distinction, right? No worry, Ray March. When you are, when you're ready to share, I would love to hear about your really cool code. I wrote some okay code. Like, I mean, the code itself was good. It just like wasn't super fascinating, I guess. Matrix stuff. Linear algebra party time. Hi, Air Wraith. It's like, it's cool. I am extremely excited to learn all about it whenever you are ready to share. All right, so I've got most of our problems up for today. Let me make sure Nightbot's working. Hi, that math teacher. Yes, I feel like this is your day, right? This is just the day for you. How was your Monday? Just catching up on a few things. Okay, that works. That's set up. Oh, I know what I forgot. There's always like one or two things that I forgot. Oh, yay! I'm so glad it's your favorite stream. And hi, Elsie Yoga. How are you? And yes, Duff Hacker. Hello. Hello. How are you? Pull this over here. Getting all of my various tabs and monitors set up. I thought I had everything, and then there's always something. Always something. All right. And War Control, you say you're doing a vectors assignment in your linear Are you doing vector assignment in your linear algebra class? Cool. I actually really liked linear algebra, but I was lucky enough to learn it.
Fresh meat.
Thank you, Ben Gizmo, for following. Welcome. I learned linear algebra concurrently with quantum mechanics, and the two are very, like, use a lot of linear algebra and quantum mechanics, so I loved it. But I have some friends where they had a bad time. Like, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was taught poorly. Maybe just wasn't the math for them. But I hope you are enjoying it, because I loved linear algebra. Sounds good, Air Wraith. No worries. And you're great. Yay. Good. Awesome. Well, we are about to get started here. I am just wrapping up a few other things. And to just kind of give a little bit of context, I know some of you have heard this a few times now, but I like to give the first little bit of stream, like 15, 20 minutes, up to half an hour, for folks to come in, chat, tell me all about their day, ask questions if there's any lingering questions from previous science or math or just general streams. And that gives everyone a chance to catch up, get a drink of water, whatever else you need. And then we can get started. So I don't have to go back and repeat myself a whole bunch of times when new people jump in. Hi, Connor. And yeah, Def Hacker, I feel like especially after quantum mechanics, I was very good at matrices, and then I forgot a lot of things because I didn't use it for a couple of years. And then when I transitioned into more of like a hard machine learning position, then I feel like you just gotta have the matrix stuff on lockdown.
Fresh meat.
Thank you so much, Sir Sauce, for following. Welcome. And yes, I love my class. Cheers. So jiggly enough, just wait. If we get any subscriptions today, you're gonna love no, I changed it. Never mind, it's not Star Trek anymore. I've been messing around with the like notifications and alerts in Streamlabs, and I got way too kind of trigger happy with it. There were a lot of like, I had too much fun. So for a little bit, I was toying with the idea of having the subscription be Janeway saying like, welcome to the bridge or something, but then I switched it, so never mind. And yes, happy first contact day. Neo? Okay, Matrix, yes. You know what? I haven't seen The Matrix in probably like 10 years. As far as I know, Strofe is doing better. Just dealing with like, the exhaustion that is COVID. I'm hoping that he's going to be back soon and we'll be able to get back to game dev stuff. But last time I talked to him, I think it was a couple days ago, and he's doing better. And hi, Cootie Juice, how are you? Drink cold and plenty. Yes, I like that. Jiggly enough. I want that. Should get that on a shirt with the like. So yeah, it's been. I know, Cootie Juice. It's been a few weeks. I apologize. The first week was my birthday, and so I didn't have Math Monday on that day because I wanted to do stuff for my birthday, so I think I did like a game stream. And then I had my fire station meeting, which is the last Monday of the month. So Math Mondays continue, but the last Monday of the month, at least for the next few months, will not be Math Monday. And then Strofe has been out with COVID, so no Thursdays. And then last week, a couple folks couldn't make it for my D&D group, so we didn't have that. So I know it's been rough. And then yesterday I was super tired, like so tired. And I was worried that if I streamed, I would go into this week being really, really tired. So I just decided to sleep, catch up, and just start the week fresh with lots of streams. So don't worry. Hopefully we're back to the schedule. And Cootie Juice, I'm a volunteer.
Fresh meat.
And Ryan by the numbers, welcome. Thank you so much for following. So I volunteer, but lots of fun. Alas, it looks like where I am moving does not have volunteer firefighters, so I'm gonna have to figure out another outlet for my I don't know, for my need to use those skills, whatever. And let's see. I don't know. So house fires and whatnot are actually really, really rare in my what are you calling it? Battalion, thankfully. So mostly it's medical calls. And I was previously, prior to COVID, working on my fire certifications and whatnot, getting ready for fire school. But so right now, when I volunteered, it's predominantly medical in like a medical capacity. So emergency medical provider. And hello, Aaron's here. Hi. All right, we're like getting some critical mass here. Oh, I'm sorry, Kato. That's really tough. Yeah, house fires are not fun. Choose another element to fight, maybe water fight. Well, I love gardening, so maybe that's my earth fight. I don't know. I don't know which bender I would be in like the Avatar world, because I definitely don't think I would be air. I don't feel like I'm meditative enough. But hi, Aunt. How are you? Is that what you bend, Ray March? Yeah, I'm not sure. Of course, that's like the fun question, right? When you're watching those shows, is like, what would I do? But je ne sais pas. All right, so we're about to get started here. Plan for today is to do just a smidge of review because it's been 2 weeks, as Cootie Juice rightly pointed out. It's been a while. And then we'll just do like maybe 1 or 2 single variable linear equations, solve for X type of situation. And if we all feel good about that, we don't need a whole lot of review. We'll go on to today's topic, which is systems of linear equations. So you're a number bender, Def Hacker. Math is a good superpower to have. I mean, I'm biased, but all right. I'm gonna refill here, and then we'll get started. Math is love, math is everything. I love math. But also, I understand why lots of people don't love math, unfortunately. Like, I might love math, but I worked for many, many years with lots of students who hated math or struggled with math. And so I do understand why a lot of the reasons why people dislike it. So hopefully when we are adventuring into math land, it will be fun and a little less mysterious for a lot of you. I have not read that book, Ryan. I'm just gonna make myself a little note here to check it out. I'm always looking for good math books, also because my mom was a math teacher. And so I love finding cool math books for her as well. You don't really love math, you just hook up sometimes. You know what? Whatever you need. All right, let's see here. Let's get our whiteboard going. Whiteboard party time. I know we've all missed the fun Galaxy pen, right? Right? Ooh. Okay, so Ryan by the numbers. I think my mom would extra like that because she's married to a Russian linguist. So I don't know if that would be a plus for her or a negative, but hopefully she would like that book. I'll have to get All right. So, which one of you beautiful, beautiful people in chat wants to recap for all our new friends? What have we done so far? Ooh, that purple is kind of dark. Let me switch up my colors here. What have we done so far? Have we learned anything at all? Are they broken? Let me check it out, Loafbone. Hold on. Testing. Testing. Yep, they're working for me. I can try to refresh them. They go in and out. That's not good. Okay, crap. This is one of the best captioning, third-party captioning integrations I've been able to find. I've used like a lot of the major ones and they're just unreliable. So please do let me know stuff like that and I can try to keep track. That's frustrating. The struggle is real when it comes to captions, and this is something that Twitch needs to put into their platform, and it's kind of an atrocity that they haven't. So, hi Katya. All right. Dear friends, what have we done so far? Who remembers, even if it's a word, who remembers anything that we've learned so far? Please tell me 2 weeks is not so long that we got to start over. I really hope not. But if that's the case, I got time, you got time. There's no rush, there's no test. We're on no schedule. That's the beauty of Twitch, right? So, see here. Got that, yep. War control. What now? What now? Haha, Katya. Okay, but like, what is the word for that? What is the word for what you just wrote in chat? And you don't need to remember what the last topic was. You don't even need to remember the technical terms if you can kind of describe what we were talking about. We've only done a couple weeks of algebra so far, and we're taking it really slow to make sure everyone's kind of on the same page. But even if you're new and you're like, hey, have you done this yet? We can figure out what we haven't done and what we have done and what's coming up. Haha, lizard Pythonic. Yes, okay, so we celebrated Pi Day. So we'll need to do a little shout out here for Pi Day. I think that was really fun. It was Pi and Python. Haha, right? Like a little bit of double, I don't know, a double celebration because we built a recursive method in Python to estimate digits of pi, which was pretty cool. And I think the code was, from the feedback I've gotten, the code was pretty accessible for folks, even if they hadn't, had a background in programming. So yes, you heard Python. Python is my go-to language when I'm trying to show people code if they've never seen code before, or if I'm like teaching code to a group of people who maybe don't do a lot of programming. Python is the language that I like to use. But let's see here. So what else did we do other than Pi Day? And I'll put a little shout out here to Python, a little bit of not even an intro, just like a flirtation. We had a flirtation with Python as well. And hi, Raphael. Yes, welcome. Most Mondays are Math Monday. March was an aberration. So, yes, Lizard Pythonic. I mean, I'm a machine learning developer. Duh, I use Python. I use Python every day. That is what I get paid to do, is write a lot of code in Python. And oh, Katya, how's your boot camp going? I'd love to hear all about it. Okay, so I will give you all a little bit of some hints here. So we talked about variables. We talked about expressions. What else did we talk about? I'm like helping you out here. I'm like whispering you the answer. I'm sharing my test answers with you. I do remember that, Deaf Hacker. Hi, Jay Shady. Yes, Math Monday returns. Like, returns. It's back. If I could draw, I'd like draw like a math, like, I don't know, thing like rising up. But that might be a little scary, actually, so. Yes, Math Monday, the best Monday of the week, the only Monday of the week, but it makes Monday so much better when you add math to it, so. All right, what else have we done? Clearly, I'm not just talking to myself. Help me out here. I don't want to start over from the beginning. Hi, Pratik. Welcome, welcome. Because otherwise, I'll just tell you you've done a whole bunch of stuff. And, no, I'm joking. We've done calculus. No, we have not done calculus yet. So let's see. We have done equations. Yes, Jay Shady, thank you. Done inequalities. And hi, MetaGBC, how are you? What else have we done? We've played with a couple of different things, so it's okay if like you feel like we just started something. Oh, war control. Knife to the heart, friend. Come on. You gotta stick around for Math Mondays. This is where the fun happens. Ooh. Alcy Yoga, that sounds really cool. I've used Docker a bit. The tough thing was like I was really interested in learning more about ML ops, and then I got moved to kind of more of like a research-oriented role or like prototyping role. And so while I definitely enjoy it, and it's really cool because it's very like theoretical and like a lot more research-oriented, it's tough because I'm not getting like a chance to learn a lot of the ML ops skills that I would really like to earn. Yes, Jay Shady. So we're going to be diving more into this today, but we did start talking about systems of equations. And word control, that's fine. No worries. It's algebra. So you can kind of like passively just hang out. And I don't know if any of you use this as a technique, but when I'm learning something new, whether it's a language or a subject or a science topic, I like to find a TV show or a movie where even if it's not used correctly, the jargon's used a lot. And then I have it on in the background while I'm doing other stuff. And it's almost like, I do this for learning a language as well, is that it almost like trains your ear to be more accustomed to the jargon and to the phrasing used in a particular in a particular field, and it's actually quite helpful. So we have talked about math being fun. I'm totally gonna add that. Math is fun. Yes, 100% agree. All right, let's see. What else have we done? And MetaGBC, it is not hard at all to keep this hair color because I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, my friend. This isn't my hair. You can't have unnaturally colored hair with the fire department, so I have resorted to other means. So if you tune into my co-working streams, I have green hair during the day, but then I have a green screen, so I can't have green hair for my math and like science streams. I'm glad I fooled you. I'm glad that it looks very natural. Actually, so a little bit of a funny story. You know, normally I look very professional at work, and it was some co-working stream where I had to switch quickly from the co-working stream to a meeting with clients, and I forgot to take off my wig. And so just randomly, I went from having like a pixie cut to long green hair. Nobody comments on the length change, but like, well, now I kind of did it, and enough people notice that I just have to rock it at work now. So somehow I accidentally tripped and fell into now having green hair at work. Whatever, it's not the worst thing. Let's see. It's your hair. Ray March. Oh my goodness. All right. And thank you, Katya. I love having funky colored hair. In my life, like not even wigs, I've had purple, green, blue, silver, like lilac, light blue, red. I've had a lot of different colors, so it's been a struggle to not indulge myself while I'm volunteering with the fire department. One time I even was just using like this shampoo that takes a lot of the yellow out of your hair, because I had my hair done like almost like silver, and I guess it left just the hint, like the slight little like waft of purple in my hair, and I got pulled aside by the one of the leadership in my department, and they were like, "Is your hair purple?" I was like, "Literally no." Like, well, it kind of looks purple in some of the light, so you need to wash that out. I was like, oh, okay, all right, oops. Yes, Jay Shady, thank you for bringing us back to the topic at hand. We've done some visualizations, and I like the way that you phrased this, because we've done the number line, and we've also done some 2D graphing as well. For those of you who love math already, we're talking, oh my goodness, come on. There we go. About the Cartesian plane. So, done that. Let me think if there's anything else that we've done some order of operations. And you all know my feelings on that by now. How is my handwriting, by the way? Can people read this all right? I do believe, do we have a handwriting command, Loafbone, to like yell at me to be neater? I am trying to be slower, but sometimes when I get really excited about math, I write quickly and I forget. So, all right, variables, expressions, equations, inequalities.
Fresh meat.
Oh my goodness, thank you, Sarah C, for following. Welcome, welcome. Love one, yeah, it's my fear of someone using it that's keeping me in line. So one thing I want to specify here with equations is we have talked about linear equations. What does that mean? Does anyone remember what that means when I say linear? There's like a bazillion right answers here, so. Jay Shady, I'm so glad you like the new animation. So it's Tennessee. And when Tennessee gets very excited, he throws his paws in the air, just like you see in that animation. It's really, really cute. But I did it right before stream. I might make it last a little bit longer. I'm wondering if I can like do that on the fly. Let's see. While you all are telling me what linear means, I am going to see if I can mess a little bit with my alert box and make it so that we can look at Tennessee a little bit longer. Make it go a little bit longer. Let's see. I don't know. Who knows? It's okay, Onad. Don't worry. Hopefully there will be more follows. And Ban Loki, you say line. Yes. So linear is definitely, I'm going to put here. So we've also learned some terminology. And we won't go through all of it, but I do think it's important, since we're going to be doing systems of linear equations today. It's important to remember what linear means. And so you're right. One of the ways that you can remember what linear is that it's a line. What does that mean for us mathematically? Yes, Jay Shady. That x, we have like a single power of x. We never see x squared. We never see x cubed, right? We just have x to the 1. And of course, we don't write it like that, because the more shorthand we can use, the better. But we have a single power of x. Is there anything else folks associate with linear? Strike hard, strike fast. I completely agree with you about like hair policing. I also think that it's a little bit of a relic of a bygone era when the people who had unnaturally colored hair were seen as like unprofessional, whereas today I feel like that kind of perception is really fading. So I do feel like it's a little bit of a outdated perception, and hopefully they will change their uniform standards. But I also think one of the kind of personal appearance policies I feel very strongly on is ones that enforce heels, because for me at least, I have really bad joints, And while I can wear heels sometimes, it is only for short periods of time, and it's often very, very uncomfortable. So I definitely do not like when kind of the uniform policy insists on heels for women, because that's not cool. And Risky Banana, that sounds amazing. Continuous movement in one direction. Atomic replicant. Yes, I like that. I like that. So I'm going to put single direction. I like you bringing in some vector thoughts there. I like the directionality. Yeah, that's really good. And then are any of my ML peeps in chat for machine learning this? What does linear remind you of there? Just make my day. Make my day. Remember something that I taught you, please. How much of pi do I know? I'm an astronomer. 3.14 is about all I need to know. I don't believe in sort of performing my own intelligence. If you're into like measuring pi and you want to memorize pi, I'd say go for it. For me, I find that it's a weird like performative thing of like, I'm smart because I memorized a bunch of numbers. That's not intelligence. But if you love it and you want to do it because you're a big fan of pi, that's a reason to memorize pi. And hi, Splashly. Yes. Well, hopefully you don't feel like you are back in math class for a bad reason, because I do try to make my math classes a little bit more fun. And yes, okay, ban low-key. Thank you. Y equals mx plus b. Equation of a line. We haven't fully explored that yet in Math Monday, but I like adding this. And yes, best fit lines are linear regression. Thank you. Jay Shady, you are amazing. You are coming in with all the answers. So, one thing for all of you to keep in mind, I will be adding in a little bit of motivation to participate in Math Monday. So not yet, because I've got to do a little bit more finagling, but I've gotten permission from this artist I really like to buy a bunch of her stickers and give them out as rewards. So there will be some wonderful, wonderful incentives coming soon. Not just to Math Monday, to science streams as well. Some fun stickers. So if you like fun puns and I'll show you some of them. I love it so much. I really want, she has a full snack developer one that I need in my life. I just need it. So I'm gonna get some of the math ones for sure. But also, if you're kind of a data science-y person or like, dev, I've got some cute stickers. So lots of cute stuff coming your way soon. So did we do exponents and radicals? I think we did. We might have done a little bit. So we might have introduced that. So a little bit, a little bit of exponents and radicals. I mean, if you really want to be technical, we actually did some geometry for the Pi Day stream, because we did kind of an approach to approximating pi, a geometric approximation of pi. And Naxmify, yes, beginners are 100% welcome.
Fresh meat.
At Sushi, thank you so much for following. Welcome. Yes, good. See, I made it last longer so you can see how cute 10 is. So one cool little thing, especially for beginners in chat, I know that it can feel really intimidating asking questions. Even if it's a stream and nobody knows you and you're not sitting in a class, even though it's all anonymous on Twitch, it can still feel really intimidating to kind of like proverbially raise your hand and ask a question. So if you have a question and you feel nervous and you don't really want to ask it in chat, you can ask Loafbone. He's our mod. You can feel free to DM him. And if you DM him your question, he'll post it anonymously in chat. So if you have a question where you're like, I really feel like this is a stupid question, go ahead, DM him. He can post it on your behalf, and he won't tag you in it or anything, but then I will answer it. And Jay Shady's absolutely right. There are no stupid questions, but I can't tell you how many times in my career I've been told that, and yet I still felt kind of uncomfortable asking a question because I didn't want to stand out. I didn't want to kind of be the person asking a question or maybe asking a simple question. So even if you feel like, I 100% agree, there are no stupid questions, but also I understand that there can be an anxiety there about asking questions. It can feel really intimidating. So Loafbone is there to help you address that. Let me do one thing real quick. And what is a radical? That is a great question. So, have you heard, well, okay, I know you, Ray March. So, you've probably seen a square root, right? This is a radical. A radical is just any expression that uses a root. And so you notice there that I didn't emphasize a square root because just like we don't really write the 1 when we have a single power of x, this is a square, like 2, right? Square root, but we can have cubic roots, we can have 4th roots and 5th roots and all kinds of weird roots. So generally speaking, radicals are just any expression that has a root of some kind. And let's see. Risky Banana, I am not addressing that in chat. And exactly, Lizard Pythonic, you can't help that feeling sometimes. And especially I'm self-taught for a lot of my career skills, and I get that all the time of like somebody will mention like a term or a library or something in a meeting, and I have this feeling of like, am I stupid because I don't know that? And the answer is no, of course. But then you feel kind of uncomfortable. You feel like maybe you don't fit in, maybe you don't belong, maybe you're not as smart as you thought you were. Don't worry, like I'm here to answer all of your questions, okay? So, but if you don't feel comfortable just posting your question, DM Loafbone, and he is not a super math person, super smart, but not a math person, and so if you ask a question, like he's not going to judge you at all. And we have a linguistics question in chat. Is there a German term? What is the German equivalent of a radical? So an expression that includes a root of some kind. Wurzel? I'm guessing they're fire with the pronunciation. I don't know German. So, so many beautiful, wonderful German friends in chat coming in to answer the question. I don't know German, so I'm not going to muddle through the pronunciation. In Dutch, it's Wortel. You know what? I will say this apart from English. I don't know any Germanic languages. I've learned some Romance languages, some Afroasiatic languages. I've never actually learned Germanic languages, so I'm, An unstable deus. Okay, so you ask, are we planning on touching on how to compute the linear regression line? My friend, I have a video for you. Look at the first day of Machine Learning Miss on YouTube. So I will link you here. If you go there and you go to the Machine Learning Miss, ML Miss playlist, the first day is all on linear regression. And so you're going to get everything from the math to the code. The code and the notes are on GitHub. So if you're interested in kind of the ML applications of a linear equation, I would check that out. For this, I'm trying to restrain myself a little bit from going off in the ML directions because I can go on a tangent for sure. And so I'm trying to stick just with some algebraic math for Math Monday. Oh my goodness, what are these words? In Australia, that means something else. What does it mean in Australia? And so strike hard. So in American English, at least, the root is the outcome. So if I have like, right, if I have this, like, this is a radical. I've also seen people refer to the symbol as a radical as well. So I'm not sure there. But the root here, the root of 4, the square root of 4 is 2. So 2 is the root, the square root. So, and Mr. Syntax, you say, math is useful. I used to not like it until I needed it from 3D game programming and physics simulations. Oh, I feel you. On Thursdays, I do game dev, and it always makes me feel really happy because, you know, C# is a new language for me. Unity is a new software for me. But I always feel a little bit like I'm back in my comfort zone when we're starting to do stuff with like vectors or matrices, or we're having to do some physics, because I'm like, oh, all right. I still might be a beginner at some of this, but that I can do. And you're right, it uses a lot of math. It is completely straight up basics. You got it, by heck. Because here's my rationale, right? I'm going to clue you in. Because I actually get a lot of people coming in chat being like, wait, like, you've talked about all this advanced math you do. Why not teach that? So this is why. 1, I'm going to. We're going to get there. 2, in my experience teaching math, and I've done it for 15 years, the number one place, well, there's 2 main places you lose people. You lose people at the transition from arithmetic to algebra, and then you lose people again at the transition from algebra to calculus. And those are the most common areas, not the only place, but those are like the areas of highest churn if you're a business person, right? These are where you're losing the most students, or math students, right? So for me, one of the things I've realized is that even when I've been teaching people differential equations, multivariable calculus, I find that there are deeply held misunderstandings or gaps in their knowledge that actually trace back to algebra. And so while it might seem silly and you're like, why do I need to review this? You'd be surprised. I've had some really advanced math people in chat actually be like, wow, I never thought about it that way, or I never heard this explained like that. So I feel like it's really beneficial, because that means for me, as, you know, a nerd on Twitch, when I get to the really advanced math, then I know you all are with me. I know that I've given you a solid foundation to build from. And so when we get to the more advanced math, I know that if there's new people, I can refer to them to the previous videos. And if there's folks who have been there for the whole way, I can trust that, you know, they have the foundation that I've given them, and so they're going to be much better equipped to tackle the more advanced topics. So you're totally right. Like, this might seem like simple math, but this is one of the places where you lose the most people in math, or the most misunderstandings, or, you know, memorization just to, like, you know, get an A happens. And that's the thing, is that this stream, my goal with this is to have 0 memorization. I don't want all of you to memorize things. I want you to understand it. And so, trust me, I got by on the fact that I can memorize things really easily. And I got by like that for years. And then I realized, crap, I've been memorizing this stuff, but I don't really understand it, like, from first principles. And so that was a struggle for me later in my career in graduate school. So I actually feel like a lot of people who feel like they're good at math, for a significant percentage of them, being good at math is actually resting on the laurels of good memorization. I don't want any memorization here, okay? It doesn't matter to me if you forget what a term means or you forget what an equation is. That's what Google is for, okay? Like, when you apply advanced math in a job situation, hi, I do this every day, you forget terms, you forget, like, the names for stuff all the time, and you just Google it. What's far better is understanding the concepts, deeply understanding the fundamentals, understanding approaches and strategies, because that's the thing that's harder to teach, harder to test, but that'll be really what sticks with you. So hopefully that clues you in a little bit to why I want to start from the beginning, and also why we are doing what might seem to some folks as simpler math, and what might seem to others as, oh, this is when I started hating math. And that's exactly why we're starting with it. Let me catch up a little bit on chat. Let's see. Haha, I know, Leibniz disciple. Yes, I would imagine that is also a place that you lose people. Don't even get me started on the transitions that occur in physics, because it's like every class. It's like, oh yeah, you lose people when you go from, like Newtonian mechanics to quantum mechanics. Okay, you lose people when you go to like E&M. You lose people when you go to thermodynamics. You lose people when you go, and then you just realize every class you lose people. Thanks, physics. And thank you, that math teacher. I'm so glad. And Femboy Hooters, what a name. But that's, see, okay, you've got SAS, right? But here's the thing, is that if you understand things from like kind of deeply at a fundamental level, you don't really have to memorize as much. Because if you kind of go, oh, shoot, I forgot this thing, and maybe you are in a test environment or whatever, you can kind of figure your way there anyway. And that's kind of the beauty of it, right? This is why, like, one of the first rants that I went on in Math Mondays is how much I hate PEMDAS. Because it encourages people, one, it's just wrong, and two, it encourages people to memorize a mnemonic instead of actually understanding what they're doing. So what I found is there's no need to memorize a mnemonic if you just understand what it is that you're doing. And Mr. Syntax, I just think that actually it comes down to there being like less robust pedagogy in physics, unfortunately. Yes, that math teacher, were you not here for this rant? Yes. Can we have like the PEMDAS hate club? Because I hate that. I hate PEMDAS. I hate the kind of thinking that it encourages students to have. It does not build mathematical thinking. It doesn't build critical thinking. It's an approximation, and half the time, like, the people actually teaching it don't understand why they're telling people to do exponents before multiplication. They just tell them to memorize it. And anytime, this is like if I can do anything, okay, maybe you don't remember anything from this stream. If you remember one thing, if someone tells you just memorize it, that is a big red flag. Big red flag. And Lizardin, were you here when I talked about really smart people who often rest on memorization to get through classes? And that's, Ray March, if it works for you, it works for you. If you need like the mnemonic trick, I'd rather you use the mnemonic trick but understand the fundamentals of where it came from. And Mr. Syntax, that's probably even more than half the teachers in American schools too, so don't worry. Precedence Rule. Leibniz, I haven't actually heard it called that way. PEMDAS is the American, I guess it's American, mnemonic for order of operations. So, okay. My dear Aunt Sally. Oh no, me too. You're giving a throwback. Don't remind me of that, please. And Squidshire, that's actually what I just said. So it's okay if you want to use the tricks on top of the fundamental understanding, right? So to me, it's totally fine if that's like something that really sticks in your head and it helps you, but it's not worth anything unless you have that foundation of knowledge, because otherwise you're just telling somebody to like monkey see, monkey do, right? Like you're just telling them to repeat what you've told them, and they don't deeply understand why it is that you need to do multiplication before addition or anything like that. So you're right. And I think that's kind of like a nuance to the point, is that I think the point still stands that if anyone tells you just memorize it when you ask questions, red flag. But if after you understand it, you have, nice little shortcuts or ways to help you remember it, totally fine. Totally fine. And wait, so in England, is it BODMAS in England? See, that's, Well, and Mr. Syntax, you say, every time we ask but why, teachers don't know. So this is a much, much larger and more serious problem, which is that, especially, I can only speak to America, first of all, but in America, teachers are like underpaid, they're underprepared, they're often completely overworked. My mom was a math teacher. Like, it literally led to her having a stroke because she was so stressed all the time. But I think that it's also a misunderstanding about math in general, that we kind of wave off elementary and middle school math and we're like, that's easy math, right? Anyone can teach that. And so you often have people who aren't prepared. They don't have the tools or the knowledge themselves to be able to answer those questions, but they're just told it's easy, so teach it. So they panic and they do, what the only thing that overworked, horribly stressed, underpaid people can do, which is just get it done. So I don't want to put the burden on teachers here because I don't think it's fully their fault. At the university level, I feel a little more strongly, but I think that there's also a lot of like academic hazing and toxicity that exists as well, where we think like almost a punitive model of teaching, which just doesn't work. And the duck, though, no. See, that's the thing, is especially in elementary, what you would call primary school, primary and like in America, middle school, which is like the first part of secondary school. A lot of times, no, they don't. A lot of times those teachers have teaching degrees, but they actually don't have degrees in math, or they haven't studied enough math that when sixth grade, by the way, fifth, sixth grade is when you're teaching memorize the volume of a sphere. And so I remember I walked my mom through the algebra of like how to prove the other kinds of volumes or surface areas. And then she was like, well, a student came to me and was like, well, where does this come from? And she's like, I actually realized I didn't know. So I said, I'm going to go ask and I will get you an answer. And then I was like, well, that's the thing, is nobody thinks that you need calculus to be able to teach elementary school math, but maybe you do. Maybe you need to kind of see where the end state is so that you can best prepare your students. But nevertheless. And yes, unstable days, I completely agree. Teaching the fundamentals are more challenging than teaching the more advanced topics. Precisely. Math, and then Ray March, you say mathematicians always come to a conclusion in a very intuitive way, but then they only show you their concise, tiny formula. Are you just hating on Fermat? All right, so actually, let's get started with some math then. While we're talking, while we're chatting, let's do some math. Make sure we're learning things and not just getting me on a subject of ranting about math education, which I could do for hours. But let's review. Single variable equations. Just abbreviating equations here with EQ. Let's get some other, let's do green. Yes. All right. 4 hours, why not 5? You know what? I've never timed myself, but I could go for a very long time on my feelings about STEM education. So, risky banana strategy, effective. Let's just say that. All right. So I'm going to start with, last time, the other thing that we did do was we talked about the distributive property. I told you that I'm a firm believer that you don't really need to memorize the names for the other properties until much later, as long as you know how they work. But the distributive one is good because we're going to use it a lot. So let's review single variable equations and the distributive property. I'm going to give us a problem to start with. I know, loaf bone. That's the problem. That is the one downside I will say to teaching on Twitch. I love it so far. I love like the kind of live one-on-one feeling that I can give people, and the laid back. Like I can take as long as we need. But I will say one of the hard things is that it usually takes about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour for me to reach kind of like the steady level of the viewership that I'm going to have. So like the first half hour I try to save. The second half hour I'm trying to do content, but then a lot of time people are coming in and I'm having to repeat stuff. So there is that challenge of like that first hour about where it's hard to kind of make a lot of progress, because that's kind of when people are coming in and hanging out and introducing themselves and sharing their thoughts on math. All right, so this is what we're going to do. All right, I am going to leave this here for you. No, me too. Don't worry. And if you're like, oh God, this looks scary, I don't want to do it, then don't do it. I'll walk you through it. We'll learn it together. If you're like, I got this, I'm a math genius, I remember everything, go for it, solve it. I'm gonna get a bit more water because that rant about about math education has made my throat a little bit sore. Gotta this is like the Twitch version of, stretching before a workout or something. So I'm gonna get a little bit more water. I'm gonna leave this up here for all of you. If you want to, solve it, test yourself, see how much you remember. But if you get stuck, stop, make a little note of where you got stuck. If you solve it, tell me what you think you got in chat. No worries if you got it wrong though. We'll figure out what's going on. And if you don't remember, that's cool too. The best thing you can do, there's nothing wrong with feeling lost in math. There's nothing at all wrong with feeling lost. The thing to try and push yourself to do is, if you do feel lost, try to work on articulating what the problem is versus I don't know what to do. If you're able to put more specifics in there, it can really help. And then you kind of understand where your gaps are a little bit better. So, all right, we already got people solving it, which is great. I'm going to get some water real quick. I will be right back.
Fresh meat.
All right, and I missed, let's see, W.R. Bernardoni. Thank you so much for following. And let me see here. Raphael, am I talking too fast? That is my fault. I'm sorry. I was getting excited. I will slow myself down. I apologize. There are a lot of ESL folks in chat, and I do try to make an effort to enunciate, to speak a little bit slower, and then I get really excited and I talk fast, so I apologize. And let's see. Me too. You say, I had a lot of absent days in middle and high school, missed many of the fundamentals, and really struggled in college. I don't know how I ever passed college trig. Wouldn't happen today. I feel you on the absences. I have a chronic illness, and so I missed school with more frequency than my peers. I think for me that helped me learn how to teach myself stuff, but it can be really hard. It can absolutely be really hard. And Squidshire, you say, my main problem with maths is that it's difficult. Yeah, it is. But here's the thing. Everything is difficult. Everything is difficult when you learn it to the degree that you all are here with me learning algebra. It's supposed to be difficult. So it's okay to struggle. Now, does the difficulty need to be soul-crushing, infuriating, depressing? No, it doesn't. You can struggle, but you can have it be worthwhile. You can have it be not incredibly uncomfortable. And that's the thing that I feel like too many people fall into the trap of doing, is just hand-waving and say, math is easy. No, it's not. It's hard. Now, it's made artificially more difficult by teachers who, are teaching poorly, or by an education system that isn't designed to help the learner. But math is hard. But so is literature. So is history. So is biology and chemistry and physics. So is programming. So is drama and theater. So is art. All of these things are difficult when you study them to a certain degree. But so don't, if you feel like math is difficult, that's okay. It's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be so difficult that you feel like the world is ending, though. And Ray March, links are not enabled, just DM Loafbone and he can post it for you. And let's see. And no worries, Raphael. That is on me though, because I know that I have an international audience on Twitch and I need to be better. So let's see. And Man Brave TV, you say, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is grit. If you really want to learn it, you will practice hard and get good at it. You can do whatever you put your mind to. I would say yes and no. So I love your passion, and I love kind of that perspective that you're bringing of all that matters is how hard you work, because I do think that we have this myth of like the genius, right? Where if people aren't just instantly good at something, they feel like that's okay, I'm not supposed to be good at it, when really success actually comes about from hard work, not innate talent. That said, I feel like that perspective doesn't acknowledge a lot of like the systemic barriers that people face. And so a lot of times there's more in someone's way than simply their willpower. And they can want it and they can work really hard. And if the system's against you, you can't do anything about that. So I feel like, yes, I wish we lived in a world where your statement was 100% true, but unfortunately it's not. And Mr. Rackman, you say, biology is not that hard, let's be real. I don't know what biology you took, but biology is very complex. It's very difficult. Is the intro of anything difficult? Probably not if it's taught well. But you study anything deeply at a, high school or collegiate level, and it's going to be difficult. If you think it's easy, you probably don't understand it as well as you think you do. All right. Ray March, that too. All right. And let's see here. All right, so we had lots of people in chat. Water Tiger, thank you. So Water Tiger says 3. And then we've got Sarah C saying 9. Ban Lowkey says 9. That Duck, though, says 9. So let's see what happens. And it's okay. If there's a mistake, here's the thing. If you made a mistake, totally fine. You still kind of level up your math ability if you're able to find your mistake and understand what you did. Because I don't know about all of you, but when I make a mistake, if I find it myself and I fix it, just like a bug in my code, if I find it and I fix it, I am way less likely to make that mistake again. Unless it's like spelling NumPy's zeros function, in which case I will do that probably until the day I die. All right, so first step here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm only gonna do one change per side of the equation. So we're gonna take it real slow, take it one step at a time, all right? So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna use our distributive property, okay? And so that's where we're taking this 2 and this 3 and we're distributing them to the inside of the parentheses, all right? So I'm gonna use yellow to illustrate that. And it helps if I know the difference between 2 and 3. And remember, when I'm writing this 3 right next to the x, remember our term for that is a coefficient, there is like a secret multiplication here. We just don't write it. It's like shorthand or a contraction, right? We don't want to have to write all of this stuff over and over and over again. So we try to shorten where we can. And let's see. The Mansa Musa. Yes, welcome. You say, I'm really bad at math. Do I belong here? You absolutely do. I am here for you, my friend, because I'm going to let you in on a secret while I'm pouring myself more water. All right. Are you ready for my secret? I have taught probably, an average of probably 6 to 8 one-on-one students, sometimes more, maybe 10 at max, per year for 15 years. And in that time, I've had a lot of people think that they're bad at math. You want to know the truth? None of them were. Not a single one of them was just somehow innately bad at math. Now, they might have had a learning disability. They might have had dyscalculia or dyslexia that made it harder for them to learn in general, but none of them was innately bad at math. So I promise, if you feel like you're bad at math, the answer is probably you've been poorly taught. And Mr. Rackman, you ask, what's the myth of the genius? So there is this myth, kind of like the myth of a unicorn, this like mythical animal that, people used to think existed, or a myth of a dragon that you want to go out and slay, right? The myth of a genius is like that, and yet we still let it persist. And Ray March is right. If you're in software development or software engineering, it's like the myth of the 10x engineer. This like mythical person that just does it all, knows it all, is innately good at it. They're just a genius. They were squeezed out of the womb doing math and amazing at it. No. Largely speaking, people have to work at it. And that doesn't mean that you're bad. Just because you have to work at it doesn't mean you're bad at it. Doesn't mean you're not a genius. Like, a lot of times it's more about how hard you work and how hard you persist and less about how objectively good you do. And this is where, unpopular opinion, I'm sorry parents if there are students in chat. Obviously your grades matter, but your grades don't matter. They're not an indication of how smart you are. They're an indication of how well you perform a certain expected behavior. But they are not an indication of how smart you are. I promise you. So even if you're like, I left high school, or, I failed out of college, or I failed this class, or I skipped this, or whatever, I promise you that is not an indication of your intelligence or your capability as a person, all right? Like, especially if you're in the US, because our education system is a dumpster. All right. And then let's see. I'm also super behind on chat. I'm sorry. The Matsumuse, if I want to get better at math, what books do you recommend? Oh. What level of math do you feel comfortable with? Because here's the thing. I feel like a lot of math is learning mathematical thinking. So like number sense or kind of like logic. And it's less how to memorize what the Pythagorean theorem is. So you're comfortable with high school algebra. Okay, so here's the thing, Mansamusa. Let me think about it and I will get back to you. I would really encourage you to, no crying face. Don't make that crying face. That is totally fine. All right? Like, I bet you are in the same group as a bunch of CEOs. Okay? Like, most people don't need to know beyond high school algebra, so you're fine.
Fresh meat.
But I would encourage you to join the Discord so that I can just ping you when I find some really good books. So if you're looking to kind of take high school algebra and you want to take the next step, let me like ponder that for a little bit and think on some really good books. I've been asked so many times about machine learning and programming books that I'm like pulling a blank when you're asking me about math. I'm working on a repository of like resources for people, and so hopefully I will be able to answer that very soon.
Fresh meat.
But thank you for following, and thank you Squidshire also for following. Calculus for the practical friend. I like it. All right. So, like I said, remember that the coefficient and variable here, there is that multiplication that you see here. It's just we don't write it because I like to joke mathematicians are lazy, but really it's about efficiency. So we want to be efficient. We don't have to write extra things. And me too, you ask about Khan Academy. I think that approach works for a lot of people, but it's not universal. So I think it's a wonderful resource, and if you love that style, go for it. It's well done. There's a lot of great resources, but I would say that it doesn't work for everyone. For me, for example, it wouldn't work because I don't do well with learning from videos. But it works well for a lot of people. I will say one thing I really don't like is Kumon math. So I don't think that's a local thing. I think that's US, but this, like, I'm going to give you 100 problems to do, and that's how you learn. That's not learning, that's muscle memory. And MMLVX, thank you for following. All right, so let's move on here. And let's simplify. And what does simplify mean? Simplify means instead of having all of these different numbers and all of these different operations, let's try to make it a little more concise. So for that, I'm going to do this multiplication here, the 2 times 5. And so we're going to get 10. And then here we have 3 times 2. And we're going to reduce that to be subtracting 6. Okay. And no worries, Def Hacker, just DM. It's going to auto block it. So I have Nightbot or Twitch or whatever setting it is, auto blocking links. So if you want to post a link, DM Loafbone, and he will just vet it to make sure. I mean, for a lot of you wonderful humans who've been around a long time, we trust you. But I've had some trolls, unfortunately. So, and Linux Physics, I love your name. Kumon is in Canada as well. Okay, that's good to know. I just realized awkwardly at the last moment, I was like, shoot. I don't know how widespread Kumon math is. And I'm sorry, Kumon, if, like, I don't know, Kumon fanatics are in chat, but I hate Kumon. I taught way too many students who were, like, survivors of Kumon math and would just, like, have really bad anxiety and hatred of math. So I'm not a fan. All right, so 10 minus 7. Let's simplify that. Oh my gosh. And then it also helps if I'm paying attention while I'm doing the math, doesn't it? All right. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? And Jay Shady, I will have you know that I am somebody who, 1, does math for a living, and 2, has done graduate classes in math, and I never did my homework. I almost did very poorly in public school math because I just wouldn't do the homework. You give me 60 problems that all look the same, and my ADHD says, nah, ain't gonna happen. So, nope. The big packets of math are not for me. What's for me is, like, 1 problem of math that is gonna take me a packet of work. That's my jam. The duck, though, I do not have a bachelor's degree in mathematics. My undergraduate degree was in North African linguistics and philosophy, and then I went to graduate school for astrophysics, but I left before completing my degree, and now I work as a machine learning engineer. So I want to go back. I want to finish my PhD, not in astrophysics anymore. I would like to do it. I have a topic all picked out and scoped, probably in either computer science or applied mathematics, but that's the thing with a bachelor's degree. Like, don't get me wrong. If you got it, pat yourself on the back. You're wonderful. That's great. I hope you're not in a lot of debt. But also, a degree isn't everything. It's a ticket into getting a job a lot of times, but it's not indicative of a whole lot. So if you got it, though, you should feel very proud because it does take a lot of work. But if you feel bad because you don't have a degree, I'm telling you, it doesn't indicate as much as you think it does. And man brave, oops. At least I'm not sounding like a consultant. Those are the bad days. All right. And let's see. Jay Shady, I recommend subtracting the smaller x to the bigger x side. Yes. And so this is something we talked about previously, is when you get to this stage and you're like, shoot, I've got to move stuff from one side to the other. If you kind of are stuck on what direction to go in the direction of the larger value, the larger coefficient. So here we want to get rid of this 2 and we don't want to get rid of the 3. So get rid of the smaller coefficient. And you absolutely nailed it on the head. We are going to subtract here. If this is seems kind of, pedantic, or you're like, oh, why do we do this? I memorized it, but why? I would definitely encourage you to look at not the previous video, not Pi Day, but the one before that. Because really what we're exploiting here is the oh gosh, what even is the technical name? Like the identity property of addition, I think is the technical term, right? Which, how do you add stuff and make it 0? How do you add two things that are the same or very, how do you take 2 and make it 0? That's literally the additive property of 0. So, or how do you, not additive property, the identity property of addition, which is what do you add to something and get that same thing back. Blah. Oof, it's been a long day. I'm sorry, friends. All right, so here, what we're doing is we're exploiting the fact that if we add 0 to 3, then we get 3 back. And so how do we get 2x to be 0? We subtract 2x. Just like getting 2 to be 0, you subtract 2. So, but we got to do it. We got to do it to both sides. And so what do we get? I used to do this a lot actually with my students, is you draw a line, because then it looks like a subtraction problem and they would make fewer mistakes. But so here we get the plus 3, 3x minus 2x. 3 minus 2 is just 1, but we don't write the 1 because we like to, be concise. And this is what we're left with. Okay, and let's see. And that duck, the duck though, you know what? You're right. I do my best to try to strip as much jargon as possible from my teaching. Not because it's not useful in certain contexts, but because a lot of times that makes a barrier for people to understand what I'm doing. But nevertheless, I love the enthusiasm. And hi, our name, so you say. New here may be a repeated question when maths basics ends in applying start, especially for ML. So I would, yes, okay, Love Phone's already got you. Definitely check out the ML series that I did on YouTube. I would also encourage you to come back on Sunday evenings, because that's usually when I do science streams in general. So there are a wide variety of topics based on kind of the interest of people in chat. So a lot of times people just want to go off and talk about my academic research in supermassive black holes, but then sometimes they want to, people are really passionate for machine learning, and we'll do an ML stream. So definitely stick around, check out the YouTube. There's a Discord and GitHub, so lots of resources for you if that's something you're interested in. All right, what's our next step here? So we've gotten rid of this 2x. Def Hacker, thank you. I will hydrate. You're absolutely right. Gotta hydrate. Gotta be better. I'm so bad at hydrating effectively. I just forget for hours to drink water. Cheers, Def Hacker. Thank you for the reminder to hydrate. And me too, you ask, what are you using as your blackboard? I'm actually using Microsoft Whiteboard. I love the Galaxy kind of themed pen. I love the colors. It does lag. So for some of the machine learning miss streams, after pages and pages of notes, it did start to lag a little bit. So, all right. And yeah, the duck though, I figured you were memeing, but also I have to kind of be assertive with, I don't want, beginners or people who feel that they're not good at math to see that and just be like, yep, see, math isn't for me. I didn't understand that.
Fresh meat.
So I do like to kind of respond to it when I see it, even if you're just teasing, right? Because I don't want people to feel like math isn't for them just because they don't understand the fancy terms. And Yui, 6969, what a group of numbers. Thank you so much for following. All right, so just like we got rid of this 2x, we decided to do the inverse and move it to the other side. We need to get rid of this 6 here, right? And so here we're subtracting 6. We have x minus 6. So what we're going to do is we're going to add 6, right? Because to get from negative 6 to 0, you add 6. So that's what we're going to do. And so what we're left with is x equals 9. If you didn't get the right answer, do not worry. Do your best to go back and see where you made a mistake. And this is the thing. This is why I hate that like lots of places grade homework. I don't think that people should be graded on homework or like, I don't know, graded on the correctness of the homework. Because really, this is about practicing. And when you're hanging out with me on a Monday night, we're just practicing math. This isn't a test. You're not like failing because you got it wrong or something. Just go back, see where you screwed it up, do better next time. That's all any of us can do. But I do want to also review a little trick that I showed all of you, which is how we like to check our work. And so if you're one of those people who does your math really fast, or maybe you've done it and you see people in chat are getting a different answer, I'd encourage you to check your work. And there's a great way you can do it, which is look at what this says. This answer says, I believe, if my work is correct, my assertion is that 9 is the value of x. Well, how can I check that? Well, let's go back to the original problem, and everywhere we see x, let's replace it with 9. And let's see what happens, okay? So here, right, we're going to go back, and everywhere that we had an x, we're going to put 9. And I can't tell you how much this helps. It seemed so frustrating when teachers taught me this in middle school and high school. I just was like, please, I got the answer. Can I move on now? When you do math, like as part of work, or you get to harder math problems where it's not so clear, it's like this wonderful confidence that if you check your answer, you're like, okay, no, I really was right. We're solid. I can move on. So I would definitely encourage you. And yes, absolutely. So let me just clarify that. This is the same thing as 9 equals x. We just wrote it in a different order. All right. So let's check. Let's see what happens. We have our mathematical hypothesis, right? We have what we believe to be true, but let's make it a fact. Let's make sure that what we think is true. So first we need to add 9 and 5.
Fresh meat.
Oh no, the raid didn't work. What? Hold on. I had this really cute raid sound. Hold on, raiders. I want you to see my cute raid sound. I was looking forward to this the whole time because I did it right before stream. Raids.
Fresh meat.
Let's see. Give me a sec. Oh, I did. I screwed it up. Oh no. I wish I could redo it. Hold on. So I'm going to play it for you. This should be the raid sound when you all come in. It's my dog 10. And if you've been in stream before, you know he sings to you at the end of stream. And so the raid is supposed to be Tennessee singing to all of you. I apologize. That was my error. But Ralpher and Fabio, Fabio Biondi, thank you so much for the raid and for following. How is your stream? Tell me all about it. and Nikelto. So I think there's a way to do it right.
Fresh meat.
And Alessandro, thank you for following as well. There is a way to give marks based on homework and tests in a productive way. But I think a lot of the times the way it's done isn't very productive. So, how was stream, Fabio? What were you working on? I hope you had a wonderful stream. Welcome all new friends. We are working on algebra. You're talking about JavaScript program. Ooh, okay. I will need to tune into your stream. I'm realizing more and more that I'm just gonna have to suck it up and learn JavaScript. Like, I've avoided it for so long. I don't even know why. I tried to learn it a few years ago and I was like, I don't like this. And it was for a personal project, so I just kind of put it on the shelf and didn't come back to it. And then I'm realizing, like, I'm gonna be so much of a more flexible developer if I can just get it under my belt. So, I will have to check out your stream because I'm finally giving in and going to have to learn JavaScript. All right. Oh, and Leibniz, yes. You should see, you're gonna love then, if you like Dota, you're gonna love when someone subs. So I have a voice line from one of my, probably my favorite Dota character, when someone subs. So we'll see. In any case, same thing here. Let's simplify what's in our parenthesis here. 9 minus 2, easy peasy, right? We got this. We're experts. Let's do it. Not axe, surprisingly. I'm trying to think, have I ever played axe in a game? I don't think so. I'm very bad at Dota. I love it, but it's like, it's an unrequited love. I love Dota. Dota does not love me because I'm very bad at it, but I love it a lot. So do not expect great things if you ever play Dota with me. I do like Dota Underlords though. Dota Underlords is way easier, I feel like. But the like RNG aspect of it can be a bit frustrating, whereas I feel like I wish that I could show like 10-year-old me Dota 2 because my love of like microing things and min-maxing everything and just the hyper control that I loved from like Age of Empires or StarCraft. I feel like Baby Jess would have loved Dota if I knew it existed. Alas, I found it as an adult when I'm like slow and ancient and bad. So, nevertheless. All right, so remember that when we have a number on the outside of our parenthesis and a number on the inside, really this relationship is that hidden multiplication again. So we're gonna do 2 times 4. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna be really explicit here since it's been a few weeks since we've done Math Monday. And I'll write it out for you all. There's never any harm in taking your time and in taking it a bit slower. Honestly, for like a lot of my middle school students, I used to embarrass them a little bit by drawing this cartoon turtle on all of their homework and like notes and stuff to remind them to go slowly. It actually worked. So I saw, this has happened multiple times that a student's like show me their test and they've drawn a turtle at the top and I was like, yes. So I'm all about the slow and steady wins the math race. All right, 2 times 14. Oh, I wish it was a stamp, Linux Physics. I just doodled that. And I'm not an artist. Okay. Is 21 equal to 21? Yes, it is. So like I explained, this is a great way. You have built into your back pocket a way of going, did I get it right, Mom? Like, you don't have to look at the back of the book. If you don't have answers in the back of the book, you have a way of checking your answer, of guaranteeing that if you did it right, you got it right. And you got it, BTC Fly. Exactly. 21 is 21. Do not call me Mom, Onad. Goodness, that just makes me feel old. All right. What is 9 plus 10? 9 plus 10 is 19. If only it worked that way, BTC Fly. If only. All right, so there was one kind of approach here to these sorts of problems that we didn't cover, and we need to go over it before we move on to systems of equations. So you were calling me, okay, that's fine then. I'm like, I ain't your mom. This is gonna be a little bit harder, all right? So deep breaths, it's okay. If it looks scary, don't panic. Like, we'll do it together. I always felt like there were two kinds of students, or more probably, but like there were students who would panic when they saw fractions, and there were students that would panic when they saw decimals. And then there were students like me who panicked when they saw both. So if you're with me, don't be afraid. We will find a way to get rid of the pesky fractions. Oh, I haven't seen that Vine. I'm sorry, Jay. I'm not like hip, okay? I'm like really nerdy, all right? I barely handle like Instagram, and I still don't even know how stories work. I just post pictures of my dogs and food. Like, I am like this, maybe like the social media ability of a boomer, but with like hopefully the liberal, left-leaning, and progressiveness of a not boomer. So, all right. Oh no, with logs? Okay, we'll get there, Ray March. Don't worry. I love logarithms. I love them. I love all of math. Except geometry. But we'll get there, and I got you. I got you, friend. And see, yeah, there's people, so many people panic with decimals or fractions, sometimes both. But don't worry. I'm a fractions person, personally. But, like, we'll get through it. We'll get through it together. And Woolsock. Have I ever thought about being a professor? Yes, but academia is not a friendly place for me. So I have gone on to do other things. My career passion is really humanitarian and ethical applications for machine learning and artificial intelligence. But I think no matter what I do with my career, advocacy and education is always going to be a huge part of it. So I think that's always going to be part of my career. And that's why I'm really excited for some of my future opportunities that basically are going to take all of my ML and like engineering and software development experience and all of my advocacy, outreach, and teaching work and cram them together and make them have a baby. And, you know, that's coming soon to a job near me. All right, Deaf Hackers, so you've got it. Okay, I want to give people a couple more minutes to take a whack at it if you would like. But so, here's the thing. Actually, no. I'm going to use the restroom because I also find that people feel a pressure when I'm sitting here nattering at you. So far less likely, like when I actually step away for a couple of seconds, people are more likely to do the problems. Because I don't want you here, I'm like not staring at you, but maybe it feels that way. That I'm talking, you're distracted, you just want to do your math. So I'm going to take a quick restroom break, do the math. I will see you all in like, a minute. If you need longer, don't worry. Try to take a whack at it if you can and let me know what you get in chat. All right. So, how'd it go? How'd it work? Let's see. Yes! And thank you, the duck, though, for always showing your work. But does anyone know why? Why do you show your work? Why should you show your work? Who cares? What's work? Why do we care in math? Why do we want you to show your work? You do not show off like, Def Hacker, you're a mathematician. It's okay to flex a little bit. All right. Because you can get lucky and luck isn't knowledge. I like that. I like that. So I've got a couple different responses that I guess I think about showing your work, right? One is that it's kind of like documentation and writing really good code. If you write readable code, it's a lot easier to go back and figure out what went wrong when something goes wrong. Same with math. If the more steps you skip, the more likely you are to have made an error in your head. And then all you have is step 1 and step 10. It's really hard to go back and debug what went wrong with your math. You can't go back and see, oh, I see right here, like I dropped a negative, or like I did in a multivariable calculus class, multiply, let's see, what was it? It was like 3 times 15, and I just made it 5 or something. I like divided. I don't even remember. But it was a very simple mistake, and I was tired. My multivariable calculus exams were 7 to 10 p.m. It was not great. But let's see here. You don't show work to flex on plebs, all right? The real Mikachu, not quite. You show your work because not only does it make your job easier if something goes wrong, but it makes it a lot easier if, say, you're a mathematician and you write a proof. Unlike Fermat, if you show your work, mathematicians won't have to spend hundreds of years trying to figure out what the heck you actually meant and what you did. So, and Leibniz, that's such a good point. I like that too. You say, well, if you can't show your work, you can't automate it. I like that as well. That's a really good point. So, this is another red flag for all of you in chat. Like one of the red flags we talked about earlier being if somebody tells you just memorize it, red flag. With the exception of textbook writers who sometimes can be jerks, if you ask a teacher explicitly like, hey, I don't understand how you got from like this step to this step, and they tell you, well, I'll leave that for you as an exercise or try to figure it out for homework, that's a red flag. Big red flag. All right. See, no, if your work can't be automated, it's not that actually, a lot of work can be automated now, but not all, of course. But if you can automate your own work, then they might hire you to automate other people's work. Also, though, seriously, machine learning isn't replacing people. Please don't worry. All right. So. What's a fraction? Uh-oh. It's not a trick question, I promise. What's a fraction? Oh wait, I've got good music. I'm not going anywhere. What's a fraction? I know, you all were like, oh good, she'll just solve it, right? No, what's a fraction? So, the real Mikachu. It's when you can't do the division in your head. So here's the thing. Jiggly Enough says a smaller part of a whole. Is 7 smaller than 5? And Squidshire says a way of representing a non-whole number. Hey, Squidshire. What's this? What's a fraction? I didn't say an improper or proper. I just said what's a fraction? What's like? And no worries. I'm pushing towards something. So I'm being a little bit of a troll, but I promise that's not pretty. Yes, Jay Shady. I love you. Today you are just on point. It is division. A fraction. Yes, and Linux physics. Or you could think about it like a ratio. But really I want to emphasize the division. A fraction is just a division. Now, one way to remind yourself, look at the division sign. Just a fraction. Okay? So when you see a fraction, it's just division. And what do you mean by, what about continued fractions? What do you mean by that? Smolians. Let me know. I know we've got lots of people from different places here. We all have our different terms. So just let me know what you mean and I can hopefully respond. All right. The reason why is that I'm going to push lots of you to think back. Hopefully you were here 2 weeks ago. If you weren't, no worries. We talked about the identity property of multiplication, right? And this is where I asked you, what can we multiply by something and get that same number back? And lots of you were on top of it. And you said 1, right? So we multiply 2 by 1, we get 2. The great thing, yes, BTC fly, exactly. The beautiful thing, right, is that the same principle applies for division, right? Because we've talked about how multiplication and division are kind of the same thing. You can think of them, they're interesting. You can think of them like a kind of opposite, and then you can also think of them being like the same thing. Still, when we divide by 1, and let's see, continued fraction as in 2 times 3 over 5 times 8. 2 times 3 over 5 times 8. Okay, so you mean like 6 over 40. And if we're simplifying this, 3 over 20. That's still division. It's just 3 divided by 20. Yep, still division. So here's the thing. What we're going to do here. We're not doing Common Core, Gigasloth. Honestly, I don't even know what Common Core is. I want to represent all of the different numbers we have here as fractions. Okay? So I'm going to rewrite this a little bit. Continued fractions are infinite fractions. So do you mean irrational numbers? So numbers that are not irrational numbers. You mean like, because irrational numbers are numbers that cannot be expressed as a ratio or a fraction. I'm thinking of Bueller, brain, like 1/3, for example, right? Where you get like 0.333 infinite decimals. It's still a division. That's still the result of 1 divided by 3. So it's still, our fractions are a division. And that holds true. You're trying to divide one number by the other. Okay, so this all was to motivate a particular kind of representation I'm going to do here. We're going to take this 2. Now we just talked about what can I divide 2 by and still get 2. And BTC Fly said 1, right? So I can write this as 2 over 1 without a problem. Because we know 2 over 1 is just 2. 2 divided by 1 is 2. Okay. So how do we deal with all of these different decimals? I like decimals. But you know what? It's so much easier if we just get rid of them from the start. Okay? And so getting rid of them from the start, I will show you the fastest way to do that, which is find the biggest number on the bottom of the fraction. That number is called a denominator. So if you hear this word, it's literally just the number on the bottom of the fraction, all right? So let's get rid of the fractions. Who cares? I love fractions, but let's get rid of them. Who needs them? I don't need them. Fractions are losers. So what is the largest denominator we have in this problem? And oh, Jay Shady. All right, sounds good. I will, given the pace at which I'm going tonight, I will probably still be here. Good luck with your meeting. Thank you as always for stopping by. You were coming in clutch today with all the answers. Yep, loaf phone, you got it. 4, right? This little friend right here. So I'm going to show you, it's not a trick per se, all right? But it's a great strategy for getting rid of your decimals quickly. So we've got, you take your biggest denominator, in this case 4. Now, just like we did with the 2, I know I can represent 4 as a fraction by doing 4 over 1. So we're going to bring out our distributive property for funsies. I don't want to switch colors just yet. Okay, so let's simplify this, all right? We're gonna take it one step at a time because this is a bit much, but I wanted to show all of you this because we're gonna need that in the future. Rather get nominated than denominated. Haha, remarch. All right, so I'm gonna write out the multiplication first, so we're all following what's going on. Remember that dot is just our way of doing multiplication now that we're fancy pants algebra friends. Okay, I know, this probably looks like a lot, okay? But all we did was we distributed that 4. And you might go, why are we multiplying everything by 4? This seems like kind of arbitrary. Well, it is kind of arbitrary, but lots of you said you didn't like fractions, so I'm showing you a way to get rid of the fractions. Guess what though? This is the beauty of math. If you don't want to do this and you're like, fractions are my love, you can solve this whole problem without getting rid of the fractions. However, so that's the beauty, is that there's multiple correct ways to get to the same destination. So if you don't like fractions, hop on this train. If you like fractions, you can go ahead and solve it the normal way that we've been solving all of the rest of the problems. So let's do this multiplication. And yes, those of you who know shorthand and know how to quickly simplify your fractions will be able to do this much faster, but I'm going to show this a lot slower because we haven't talked about multiplying fractions, okay? So remember that this is how we multiply fractions, right? You just multiply straight across. So I'm writing it out again, just so we're really being explicit here with every single step. It's gonna make it so that far less people get lost. But if you are lost, let me know in chat. It's okay to be lost. I have no problem stopping and talking about what we're doing. All right, now let's just do our multiplication. You can just kind of pretend like the fractions don't even exist. 4 times 5, 1 times 4, there might be catalyst creations. There might be a shortcut that I'm just not aware of. All right. Okay. Now, what did I just tell you, though? Third term should be 8 over 2. Yes, you're right. Thank you for catching me. This is what I get when I'm, like, talking and also mathing. Thank you. Thank you, Kosh Vader and Knife Juggler and also Pale Blue Zebra. I love when people catch mistakes. It means you all are paying attention. All right. So, now, what are fractions? Fractions are division. So let's just divide. 20 divided by 4. 4 divided by 2. 8 divided by 1, that's easy. 4 divided by 2 again. And no worries, Pale Blue Zebra, you were going in the right direction. And Gigasloth, I hope that that's an Alt-J reference, because then that just made my night. But if it's not, also, tessellation is awesome. Okay. What is this? Friends, this is just, yes, thank you. Finally someone else that likes Alt-J. All right, I need to listen to that album again. All right. This should look familiar. This is just the linear equations you've been doing for weeks now. Easy peasy, all right? We know this. This isn't scary. What's our rule? Look for the larger coefficient of your variable, right? So in this case, the number attached to your variable, which is 8, and we're gonna get rid of the other one. And the real Mikachu, I use a tablet. So if you use the command !tablet in chat, you'll be able to see exactly what kind of tablet I use, but I use a writing tablet for sure. And that was the real Mikachu, that was on the Awesome Wave. So I think was that 2 technically? Technically speaking, I think it's 2. No, I feel like that was their, unless there was some I don't know, small album I wasn't aware of. I'm pretty sure that's actually the Awesome Wave is the first one. But an Awesome Wave is amazing. I've listened to it an absurd amount of times. I wasn't as big a fan of their next album, but that one is beautiful. I love it so much. I could geek out. Haha, Catalyst Creations. And so there is a little bit of a cooldown on some of the commands, the real Mikachu. So if you'll notice, if you go up, Loafbone already put it in chat. So it's the XP Pen Deco 01V2. Whatever. It's a writing tablet. All right. Gigasloth, oh my gosh, we gotta talk, because I have feelings about that album. The lyricism and the music and anyway. Okay, math, right? I'm not gonna geek out. So I saw them live. It was amazing. In any case, I'm back to math. We're doing math. All right. Find the smallest coefficient, and that's the one we're gonna get rid of. All right. So we're gonna use our identity property here. This is becoming old hat, hopefully. Did I reverse something? No, I didn't. All right. Oh, Breeze Blocks is so good. Did he have a mustache when I was... I feel like he did, yeah. I mean, it's kind of a pedo mustache, but whatever. What can you do? All right. If any of this, though, is unfamiliar, or you're like, I don't know what's happening, stop me. But hopefully we've done enough of these at this point that this should look pretty familiar.
My power rises.
Oh my goodness! Anonymous gifter of some sort, an anonymous friend. Thank you.
My power rises.
My power does rise. And Jay Steggy, Keyshawn, Ray March, and Floppy. Hi, Floppy. I don't know to say how are you yet in Swedish. I'm sorry.
Power
but
rises.
And Cyber Trekker, welcome. But I thought, Floppy, I thought you would appreciate. I added a stream redemption just for you. Well, not just for you, but for everyone.
Rises.
Which is, okay, Floppy is amazing. Floppy is my new Swedish best friend, and they are helping me figure out lots of details and whatnot. But I have added a redemption now in chat that you can redeem. Yes, okay, thank you, Love Fun. All right, this is the new redemption. So hold, please. So The new redemption is you can make me do a practice of Swedish. So I'm learning Swedish, and the redemption is I have to practice a quick 5-minute Duolingo lesson. So let me just add this real quick. Not a browser source. I want to add a window capture. I know how to Streamlabs the Streamlabs. All right, Swedish. And not the settings, Duolingo. All right, so this is for you, Loafbone. Thank you for redeeming.
Han älskar mig.
I don't know if it actually let me speak. Hold on. Nope, it won't let me speak. What?
Vi tycker om er.
Okay, hold on. I gotta pause the music. I can't like listen to Swedish. All right.
Vi tycker om er.
I'm new to the pronouns. You gotta be patient with me here. Oh, darn
Han
it.
älskar henne.
I can't speak now because it won't let me do that. Okay, the child likes me. Yes.
Jag äter den.
Eat it. Oh, I get hon and han confused. Hold on. Him, hono? Yes.
Hon älskar dig. Hon älskar dig.
Okay, this is the problem, right?
Hon älskar dig.
Is it the ER or no, it's gotta be that, right? It doesn't sound the way it looks. Yes! Yes. Okay. Yes.
Han tycker om er.
He likes you plural. Yes.
Ni älskar dem.
No. I screw this up all the time because it's DEM, so that's them. No! Shoot, it's you plural. Oh, crap on a bucket. All right, she on.
Kvinnan älskar dem.
Loves them. Okay, she on.
Jag älskar det.
It.
Pojken äter dem.
What?
Pojken äter dem.
The boy eats them?
De tycker om det. Barnen älskar er. Vi tycker om er. Ni älskar dem.
No, I'm going to screw it up again. It's ni. So you love them. All right. Yes! Thank you, Lophone. What an excellent little, I don't want to do a quiz. Thank you for that. That was a great redemption. I appreciate it.
Fresh meat.
And CJ Halvala, thank you so much for following. Hi Van Buchan. Okay. And Catalyst Creations, my mic is hot trash, so it's probably on my end. All right, let's go back to math. All right. So I'm working on, yeah. So CJ, right? Like when it's the accusative pronoun for the second person singular accusative pronoun, I struggle, aka DIG. Like, the first time I heard that, I was like, excuse me, what? There is no D sound, there is no I sound, there is no G sound? What? Swedish, what? Nevertheless, I love it. I love Swedish. I am terrible at it so far. I'm very new to it, but I'm loving it. All right. And air wraith, I will hydrate, thank you, but that probably means I'm gonna need another bathroom break soon. Oh goodness. Okay, finska är det bättre språket? No, is that språk? Because it's språk, isn't it? It's a sh sound. Anyway, regardless, I think because you can ask something like something tala du för språk, right? And that's like asking how somebody, like what languages someone speaks. Something. Oh, wait, CJ, you're asking how someone's doing, right? Because that's in my textbook. Hold on. I got you. Oh wait, no, you have Vågar? What is Vågar? So I have Mordu, right? How are you, I think? Mordu? Oh, how dare you. Okay, well all I know is how are you. And vad heter du? Like what your name is. But I'm in the basics, can you tell? Super basics. Nevertheless, what a great redemption. I will never ever try to teach math in Swedish. That will be a bad time. I don't even really know the numbers in Swedish yet. All right. So we're in this situation. We need to get rid of this 3. So we're going to divide. We're going to have a happy little division time, but now that you all know fractions are division, I can do this and it shouldn't be scary. And now we have et voilà. And there is our solution. Oh, I don't know Penskaft, so I just started learning Swedish. So there is a strong likelihood that I will need to be able to know Swedish at a very near point in the future, shall we say. So I would... Catalyst Creations, the irony here is that it's not so many things. It's literally kind of just languages, and I learn it by trying really, really hard and working really, really hard. So math is a language, programming is a language, languages are languages. C'est bien. All right. The veil has not been lifted, has it? Okay. So let's talk about systems of equations. C'est très bien, mademoiselle. C'est très bien. All right. Where are my notes for the next part? Je parle un peu de français. Where are my notes? Self. There's my notes. All right. I knew I had notes. I'm prepared. All right. Let's do a little bit of something new. Merci, Wraith. It doesn't feel like a lot of languages. I'm sorry, Martin Eden. I know. I needed to rest. I need more sleep than the average human. I don't know why. And last week, the last few days of last week, I was getting 5 hours, and then I just crash, and I have to sleep for 12. So I'm sorry, I was very exhausted. I ended up just sleeping. And CJ, I only speak one language fluently, which is English. My undergraduate education was in North African linguistics, so I learned Arabic and French. I learned Modern Standard Arabic, Tunisian Arabic, and kind of standard Parisian French. I dabbled with Scots Gaelic in high school, but that was a very long time ago. Like an absurdly long time ago. And I grew up speaking Russian, but I lost it because I haven't spoken it really since I was a child. I've dabbled in some Japanese. I didn't get very far because something happened at work and I basically had to drop hobbies. Hate that. Like if you look, let me see. If I pull up my Duolingo. Pull up my Duolingo. There were other languages. What else was I learning? Duolingo. They limit you, I think, though, on how many languages you can learn, which I was like, this is not fair. Swedish, Japanese, Gaelic, French, Arabic. Okay, no, I already talked about those. So, let's see. Is Arabic tough? اللغة العربية ليس صعبة. The Arabic language is not difficult. I actually found it easier than French. It's formulaic. You pronounce it how it's written. There's no weird hidden letters or letters that are dropped. It's pronounced how it's written. It's beautiful. There's something kind of mathematical about the root system. Привет, как дела? Я понимаю чуть-чуть по-русски. All right. Nevertheless, math. Ooh, see, we're getting some of that lag. I didn't feel like I've written a lot, but Microsoft Whiteboard does tend to lag after a certain point. Teach math in Arabic. Ha! The numerals are already Arabic, so... Actually, they're not, like, fully Arabic. They're adapted from Arabic. But I do like writing. I much prefer writing right to left. So I wish English was written right to left. I miss that from Arabic. All right. So, y'all should feel good. I'm going to mess with the mic. Hold on. I'm going to try to fix it. All right, it might have cut out for a sec. All right, hopefully I fixed it, but it's, I don't know, this mic hates me, so I do need to get another one. I'm sorry. Write something in Arabic. Oh shit, it's Vincent, hold on. It's my name. Jess. Or like, what was it I said earlier? Oh, hold on, how do I do that? It's been a while. It's been a while, so if I spell anything wrong, it's not my fault. The Arabic language is not difficult. But like I said, it's been a while and there's probably like misspellings there, so we're gonna erase and pretend it never happened. All right. How could I prefer right to left? I don't know, it just flows easier. It feels really comfortable for me. But, nevertheless. All right. I really hope that my mic stays paying attention and like doing what it needs to do for you all. I apologize it's cutting out. It's on the list of things I need to replace. As well, it's not a shameless plug because it's my channel, but as a reminder, all subs, donations, things like that go towards getting new stuff for the stream. So thank you to all of you who are subs and who donate and whatnot, because it helps me, you know, get better equipment for the stream. So thank you. In any case, let's talk about systems of linear equations. So all of you, hopefully, feel comfortable now with the idea of solving a single variable linear equation. But what happens when we have two variables? And this is like a nice shorthand that I like to kind of give people to remember, is that however many variables you have in the equation, it's an approximation. That is how many equations you're going to need to solve it. And also, and this might seem difficult. We're not going to talk about the linear algebra way to do it yet, Leibniz. So we're going to just talk about like the algebraic approaches. But you're absolutely right that you can solve linear equations with linear algebra. But we're not going to look at the matrix ways to solve these just yet. Okay, so if I have an equation like this, the difficulty here is that I only have, like previously, we've used our equations as relationships, right? And one relationship is enough if I just have one variable. But the difficulty here, oh my goodness. Error rate, thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad some new friends, and Carlos of Gingerfell. I'm so glad you get a sub. I love the little gif of 10. I could just watch that all day. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I might mute it so we can keep, mathing. But thank you. Error rate, that is very, very sweet. I have not tried writing shaders yet. And what is the difference between an equation and a linear equation? An equation is a broad term for any kind of relationship of equality. So, like, this is an equation, this is an equation, your fancy, integrals. If there's an equal sign, you've got an equation. It's a statement expressing a relationship of equality because you have an equal sign. Linear means that your variables are not squared, cubed, to the fourth, to the fifth, etc. They only are to the first power, so what you're describing is the equation of a line. So if you have like a squared variable in there, you start to get curves. Same with like a cubed, quadratic, or fourth, etc. But if you have your variables and they have, they're to the first power, then you're describing the equation of a line linear. So a linear equation is just that, an equation that describes a line. And equations, yes, Martin Eden, absolutely. Equations can be nonlinear. So equation is like the parent definition, and a linear equation is just one type of equation. So here's the thing, is that we've looked at these equations in the past, these equations with two variables, and we've graphed them, and we've looked at how we can make a line from graphing them, but we haven't tried to come up with a single solution. And why is that? We talked about this at the end of the the math stream before the Pi Day. And this comes down to the word solve. And the fact that somebody will say, you can't solve this, you have two variables. Not true. Not true at all. I can come up with a solution right now. X is 5, Y is 10. No, X is 5, Y is 0. There's the solution. But you could also have solutions of different forms. You could have a solution of X is 3, Y is 6. X is 2, Y is 9. So, and exactly, Leibniz, you can solve it. You can just have a whole bunch of solutions. Well, what form do those solutions take? Guess what? They're all coordinates along a line, right? So this is not a graph. I'm not going to chart, I'm not going to graph this exact one. But if we have a line, every single point along this line is a solution to the equation that describes that line. So maybe this is y equals x plus 1, okay? This actually looks like y equals 1/2 x plus 1, but whatever. if this is, let's just say, this is our equation, every single coordinate, every single combination of x, y pair along this line solves this equation. So yes, you can solve it. Is there a single solution? No. But we talked about that when we introduce a second line, say maybe we've got a line that does this, and this might be y equals 2x, y equals 2x. Well, now we have two lines. So now we're asking not what is the solution to one of these, but is there a solution that fits the orange line and fits the yellow line? And graphically speaking, that's really easy, right? Because we're just asking, what do they have in common? What do they share? Where do they intersect? So this, the intersection of those two lines, is what gives us the solution to both. The solution that both lines share. But let's say that we're actually interested, we're like, cool, we've got this graphical way to solve it, right? But is there a way that we can solve it without graphing the lines? And the answer to that, actually, I probably shouldn't delete this, so people have the notes. Oh no, will it come back? Did I screw it up? Am I a bad person? I think I am. I'm sorry. Farewell. Rest in peace. All right. And let's see. An infinite amount of solutions, exactly, assuming that your line is infinite, of course. So let's do this. Let's add in a second equation here, all right? And here is the beautiful thing that I love about math. There are multiple different approaches to how to solve for this. Isn't that great? I love when that happens. There's no just one prescriptive, you have to solve it in a certain way. There's lots of different strategies. We're going to go over one of them today. You've seen the kind of graphical approach, right? So that's one way that you can do it. So if you're a really visual person and you like graphing things, absolutely. This actually is my personal favorite, and it's called substitution. I'm a little bit of a sucker for the other method that we'll talk about next week, which is elimination, because there's just something that just, I don't know. I kind of feel like a BAMF when I do it. You're just like, yes, look at that. In one fell swoop, I just mathed it. You feel cool, but also it's less common. Substitution is flexible. It almost always works. Like, well, it will always work, but like it almost always is the most efficient way to go about it. So I like substitution. Nevertheless, yes, I know substitution is great. And elimination does sound metal. Elimination makes me feel a little metal. I will show you maybe at the end a little bit of a preview of how elimination works. But we'll do one of these. We'll see how it works. Substitution does work with nonlinear equations. So it's also a great skill to kind of learn now. So what we're going to do. Remember, let's throw our minds back probably about an hour. When I was talking to you about how to check your work, what did I say? We had something like x equals 9, right? And I said, well, let's go back in, and everywhere we see the x, let's put 9, and let's see what happens. So here, we're going to do the exact same thing, except instead of having a number, we're going to have something a little more fun, all right? So I'm going to take this. Okay, well, actually, chat, you decide. X or Y. Pick a variable, X or Y. Choose your adventure. Choose your math adventure, chat. X or Y. Haha, Catalyst. Y, lots. Okay, oh, there's X. Okay, so X is winning. Nope, now it's tied. It's 3-3. Haha, Van Buchan. Another vote for Y. Oh, and another vote for X. 4-4. Maybe I should have made a poll. Usually chat comes out decisively. It's tied, chat. Oh, Y is in the lead. Nope. All right, we're back 5-5. All right, X is in the lead. X is in the lead. All right, 7-5, I think. 7-6 now. First one to 10, I guess is what I'll do. 8. 9. One more vote for y. Okay, well, Lovebone, you already voted. It's straw poll would be a pain to do it. Yep, y. Thank you, Code Monkey. All right, so we'll solve for y. So I'm going to look at these two equations, and I'm going to look for where the y doesn't have a coefficient. I can do it if y has a coefficient, but it's so much easier if y doesn't. So I'm going to take the light blue equation up here because y doesn't, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this equation and, catalyst creations. That is because we have I think a 2 or 3 second delay on chat because we were getting a lot of spam. So Loafbone has a little bit of a delay on chat so that he as the mod can ban like really toxic comments and spam and stuff so that you all don't have to have it in your chat. So that might be why you see a little bit of a delay. So here, I'm going to subtract this x and we're going to get an equation for y. So this I want you to remember, all right? So like, remember back, think back to our x equals 9 and how we took that 9 and we just plugged it back in. Everywhere we saw x, we said, nope, we're going to put 9. We're going to do the same thing here, but instead, we're going to do this for y. And I know it's a little harder because instead of having a single number, we have an expression. Still, stick with me. It's fun, I promise. All right, so I'm just copying down the orange equation now. Okay, but here, y. We've hit y, so we stop. And what do we think y equals? Y equals 15 minus 3x. And now we just continue with the equation. So what have we done? We've gone from having two equations with two variables to a single equation with one variable. This you can solve. This you got. We know how to do this. We've done this a bazillion times. We've done this for weeks. We can do this in our sleep. So let's do it. All right. I'm gonna scroll down. Hopefully, if you need me to scroll back up because you need to copy something, just let me know. All right. So here we're gonna take these two, we're gonna combine them. We're still in the simplifying train. 1, remember a single x on its own is just 1. 1 minus 6, we are gonna end up with a negative. That's where we're getting that negative 5. All right, we're halfway there. So what did we do? We took one of the equations, we rearranged it so that we had an expression that was equal to y. Then we took the other equation, and wherever we had that expression, or wherever we had y, we just substituted our expression. Now that we have a value for x, I'm guessing you all can tell what we're gonna do. Just like when we solved our work. Let's go back. Let's take this light blue equation. And now we have a value for x. We believe x is 4. All right. Same thing. We are turning these into problems we can solve. We're turning them into single variable equations that we already know what to do with. And it's easy. Actually, that should be in yellow. Right? Sweet. So now we think x is 4, y is 3. How do we check our work? Oh, thank you. Yeah, okay, that math teacher. So color coding, obviously for colorblind students and for some students who aren't as visual, it won't work. But I found that it's more of like, you want to present the information via multiple modalities. So using, you know, different thicknesses and using, like we already use different symbols, but then using different colors reinforces it. So the many different ways that you can kind of express the same fact, like the many different modes that you can portray the same information, makes it a lot more accessible. So, oh, thank you. Well, you're so sweet. I love you, chat. All right, so how we would check this, let's use our other sparkly pen. Check. Let's check our work. So what we're gonna do is we'll take our orange equation and we're gonna substitute what we think our values are. So here we think x is 4, then we think y is 3, remember that there's a hidden multiplication here, we just don't write it. 10 equals 10. So we know we're good. But here's the thing, we have two equations, so we do need to check both. So let's check the other equation, but you can see it's a little bit shorter, right? So here we have 3x plus y equals 15. Three times 4 is just 12. So there you go. You have solved your first system of linear equations. It's pretty cool, right? Easy peasy. Now there are so many different ways that we can approach this and solve it, but this is one that I feel like is really intuitive given all the skills that you've been building with solving single variable linear equations. So hopefully this feels intuitive. Let me know in chat though if there are any questions or if something didn't follow. Completely agree though, Loafbone, good teachers make a difference. They should be paid more. Some of us teach for free. I don't mind it, honestly. Like, for me, I want to remove as many barriers as possible. And I found that like sometimes private schools will have better teachers because they're paid more, but then you have this financial barrier for students. So one easy way to get rid of that, albeit it means I sacrifice my personal time, I don't mind, but like, is that I just don't worry about money. I have my day job. It means Mondays can be a little stressful as I'm trying to make sure I'm prepped for Math Monday. I have, content and equations to go over and problems and everything, but I feel like for me, with the exception of the accessibility issues Twitch has, I am trying to remove as many barriers for students as possible. And one of the ways I can do that is by making it casual, making it easy. It's on Twitch. You can be here, you can not be here, whatever you want. It doesn't cost money. You don't have tests. We're just hanging out and doing math. So and Leibniz, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. I think so this one is called the substitution method because it exactly to what you're saying. It does that substitution first. Honestly, it's kind of like which tool you like and which tool fits the job. I'll give you a little bit of a preview of what we'll do next week. Hold on. How is my note? Oof. I noticed maybe weren't the nicest today. I did try to stay neat. I hope you all know that. I do try. And then just like me verbally, I get excited and it goes all over the place. All right. So here's your little bit of a preview for the elimination method. All right. Hi, Prutz. How are you? So if, for example, we have... This one blew my mind. So this is one of the approaches. Let me actually write this a little bit bigger. This is one of the approaches in math that I remember just being like, whoa, math is cool. So hopefully I can impart on all of you how cool this is. So. All right. So, if this were the substitution method, I think you all know what we would do, right? We would, find an expression for x, substitute it into the other one. I got something cooler. Please, this is math. We make our own rules, right? You ready? I think that's 5. Oof, I can add. No, wait, 15. I'm tired, all right? And I've never been good at subtraction. So we get 3y equals 15. So we got our y equals 5. What? That's right. We literally just treated these things like they're just numbers. That's all they are. They're numbers. Pretty sure. Nope, this is the correct. So here's what you got to do. This is the trick. Is the minus applies to the entire thing. So you get a negative x, negative 3y, negative 17. So I went correct direction on the arithmetic. And then once we have that y equals 5, we would substitute that back in. Just pick whichever one you want. Let's pick this one. So then we have x plus 3 times 5 equals 17. So this is a preview. Don't worry if you're like, what? How did you subtract an entire equation? It's kind of cool though, isn't it? Math is cool. Math is really, really awesome. So this is just a preview, a little teaser for next week. Those of you who have been talking about matrix approaches to this will also know that we can represent each of these columns as the columns of a matrix and solve it that way. So there's some cool matrix stuff that you can do as well. We won't fully focus that probably until we get into linear algebra, but if people really, really want, maybe I can do a little bit of a tangent next week. All right. So, but you don't need to fully understand this approach. We're going to dive into it more next week. Let me give you a system of equations to practice while I get Tennessee. Because you know what? I think we need a 10 song. I don't know about all of you, but I'm missing the melodious tones of my beautiful dog. So let me give you one to practice. Okay. All right. Don't worry, give in to meow. If you're not ready for a matrix, you're not ready for a matrix. No worries. No stress, no pressure. We'll get there when we're ready for it, right? I will be right back. I'm gonna get 10. I gotta take down the green screen and stuff so you can see him. I will be right back. All right, friends, how'd it go? How'd it go? I'm gonna solve this one a little bit quickly because somebody is desperate to sing for you, okay? But if this doesn't, if this doesn't work for you and you're like, oh God, I don't understand what's going on, hop into Discord. I can walk you through every step, okay? But let's just see what we got here. So the expression I'm gonna use, hi, yes, you're beautiful. All right. And because I'm solving this quickly, I'm probably going to make mistakes. So hopefully one of you beautiful people in chat will be there to catch me. I've never been a fast math kind of person. I usually make mistakes when I go quickly. Oh God. 17 minus 45? I'm not doing that in my head, I'm tired. I know, Bat, you're cute. Yeah, I think that works. All right, and then let's take this 4, let's plug it right back up into our expression for y. All right, I get y equals 1, x equals 4. What'd you guys find? I know that was a bit of a rush. A little bit of a rush. That is the fastest I will go through things, I promise. I just have like the world's cutest dog, little dog next to me, like desperately trying to sing for all of you. So hold please. Can you get us a poll for what Tennessee's gonna sing? And I will get our, I'll get our cameras all up here. Let's get our 10 cam. Oh, well, you just have a view of his butt, so congratulations. Oh, I know, you're a very good boy. You're a very good boy. Haha. Bye-bye, Jess. See you. Very cute. Very cute, Van Buchan. All right, my friends. Tennessee will sing for you a variety of your favorite sci-fi songs. So please, I'm going to pause our music here because nothing should distract you from how melodic and beautiful his voice is. Let's have a little bit of voteronies here for what you think 10 should sing. What do you think Tennessee should sing for all of you? I know 10. I know 10. You're a very good boy, 10. Oh, bless you. Bless you. Oh, sneeze again for me. Tennessee. Oh my God, he's so cute. Yes. All right. Okie doke. Let's see here. Oh, we've got a 3-way tie. Vote, friends, vote. I am getting a few oh my goodness, yes, there we go. Now we're getting some votes here. Voyager. Ooh, Voyager's in the lead. Okay. I'm gonna bribe you with a little bit of this. You come over here so people could see you. All right, looks like Voyager is crushing it. My morning alarm sound. Okay. A little bit of a volume warning. Tennessee does tend to, he goes all in with the singing for you. I'm going to turn down the mic just for a sec. This is the highlight of his evening, is he loves singing for all of you. Do we like ads, 10? We do not like ads. was a beautiful song. That was a beautiful song, 10. Everybody loved your song, and you get a big piece of turkey. That's a very good song, Bat. Very good song. All right, my dears. I am going to raid a wonderful, wonderful channel. This is Splashly. It looks like she's learning Git branching. So cool tech person. Let's give our follows. Let's give our subs, our love. Thank you, Azulma, for joining in. And I will see you all next time. Also join for D&D on Wednesday. Please.